today, Teaching 6, Video 6. In the book, we are on day 19. We are starting in the parables for the videos. Actually, the parables started back on day 14. I'm going to be covering 5 parables in these videos. Many more are covered in the book. We're on page 109 in the book, if you have it. The parable, the house built on the rock versus the house built on the sand. And this is a pretty popular parable. If you've studied the parables at all, I'm sure you've heard this one before. Let's see what we can get out of it today for us. I'm in Matthew now, Matthew 7:24 through 27. And this is Jesus speaking. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Okay, we're following another theme, the same theme again. Remember in the last teaching, Jesus was in the house and he said, those who are learning and listening from me and applying it and doing it, they are like my brothers and sisters and mothers. And now he's saying, those who hear the words and do them, it's also like they have built their house on a rock. So what does that tell us right there? When we stay close to Jesus, we are like family, and he puts us in a strong house. Strong foundation. Let me start over. Verse 24 again. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. In this teaching itself, Jesus is saying that those who hear me and do, those who hear the word and apply it and follow it, that they're in a sturdy house. Okay, and obviously this means that when the troubles come, when hard times come, we are more likely to be able to weather those problems, okay, and face them and go through them. Obviously, when we don't listen and follow through, and that is important. It's not just listening. It's not just hearing. It's not just reading. It's not just going to church and hearing the message. It's applying it. Okay? It's applying it. That's what makes the foundation firm. So how for those of us who have been walking with God for a while, how does this apply to us? Well, here's the way I like to think of it. I like to think of it is that we have a nice strong house built on a nice strong walk. But we also have a vacation house on the sand, on the beach. And you know what? That vacation house, oh, it looks so relaxing. It looks tempting. We can just move over there for a while, and we do sometimes. We have times when we are closer to Him. And then we have times when we let distance grow. Or there's something we know we need to be following through on and we don't. And the minute we do that, we move ourselves into the tempting vacation house. The vacation house that when the storm comes, we don't weather it very well. We're less likely to weather it, and we may even lose things. We may even lose something in that house. Now, Of course, what's wrong with having a vacation house? I'm just using that as an example. Sure, go to your vacation house, but take Jesus with you. He will strengthen that house too. Now, the storms come to both. The storm came and whipped up the house on the rock, and the storm came and whipped up the house on the sand, on the beach, but only one stood. Only one made it through. And I also think today of our families, because who lives in the house? The family lives in the house. And part of this applies to us making sure that our families, that we are passing down the strong foundation, that we are teaching them how to make their foundation secure, and how they can be close to Jesus, and how they can have this protection as well. Because I don't know if you all can say, but I do. I can think back on my life, and I can think of times when I let a lot of distance get in my walk with God, and some storms came through, and I did not handle them well. And it almost took me down. But I can tell you that when I stay close with Him, anything can happen. And I can handle it so much better because I know He's navigating through the storm. Reflections. Think about, when was the last time that you weathered a terrible storm in life? Or maybe you're even weathering one right now. And ask yourself, how did you react during that storm or during the current storm? This has helped me so much. When you have a big problem and a big storm in life, or any kind of problem in life that you need to solve, you need to figure out or resolve, ask yourself, this is a question you can ask yourself to help determine if you are responding well to that problem. Ask yourself, is the way I'm handling this problem, is it bringing me closer to God, or is it pushing me further away? Are my actions bringing me closer or further? And likewise, if you have two paths or multiple paths that you can take to solve a problem, choose the one that will bring you closer to God, that will keep you in that strong house on the strong foundation.